How could you forget they already hit 750 wins last year? Well, the Wikipedia page I use with the NHL all-time wins list by franchise had Vegas with the correct stats at the top, so I just assumed everyone else was right. Even I know not to believe everything you read on Wikipedia. Well, on the bright side, there's a new countdown tonight. You make sure you're right this time. Everybody's hands go up, way up, as the Nashville Predators defeat the Detroit Red Wings by a score of 6-1. Where do you go after you blow a 3-goal lead at home and then follow it up the following Saturday against a subpar team with a lackluster effort? You go to the Motor City for a tune-up, of course. Pre-game, looking over the lines that Coach Peter Laviolette had written up for this game, it would probably come as a shock to a few Preds fans to see the Jofa line of Johansson, Forsberg, and Arvidsson reunited. But considering the struggles as of late by the top 6 being outscored by the bottom 6, Laviolette had to turn to Old Faithful to give this team a spark. Coming into this game, Pekka Rinne was 0-7-2 in his last 9 starts versus Detroit after starting his first 20 starts versus the Red Wings with a 12-5-3 record if you don't count the 2012 playoff series. He had to be due, right? Some loose defensive coverage early in the first by the Preds leaves Andreas Athanasiou wide open, and he says, "Nice to meet you," to Pekka, and he beats Rinne and makes it 1-0 Detroit. And Preds fans are already having flashbacks to the last 6 years under Laviolette against a team like Detroit. But this would be a different night, as the Preds on this evening were like a shaken up bottle ready to explode. Later, things don't appear to get much better for the Preds as Victor Arvidsson goes to the box for slashing. But fortunately for the Preds, it doesn't come back to sting them, and they kill it off, making it the 18th of the last 19 penalties they've killed off in the Preds' last 6 games. A little while later, with Craig Smith in the box for the Preds, the Wings are passing nicely in the Preds zone, and Dylan Larkin appears to make it 2-0, but he just gets it wide. Detroit would definitely regret not capitalizing and putting Nashville behind the 8 ball by scoring on either one or both of those power play chances they had in the first come the end of this game. Preds end up outshooting the Wings 7-5 after 1, but are still trailing 1-0. Early in the second, the Preds are remaining persistent. And what has happened so far this season when the Preds remain persistent and play their game? They're rewarded. Right off of a face-off win, Dan Hamhuis takes a shot, and Benito, Nick Benito gets his 8th of the season! And this game is tied at 1. 3:32 later, Kyle Turris skates the puck in and wrists it at a partially screened Jimmy Howard. And the Preds have their first lead of the game, and it's 2-1. A minute and 2 seconds after that, Pekka Rinne would get an assist as he gets it to Ryan Ellis, who passes it to Colton Sissons on a 2-on-1 with Austin Watson, but decides to call his own number, and he beats Jimmy Howard. And now it's 3-1 Preds. It doesn't stop there, folks, as a minute and 2 after the Preds made it 3-1, Matthias Ekholm steals it away from Heroes of Detroit, and he gets it to number 95, Matt Duchene, who takes a shot on net, and it appears to be tipped in by Kelly Yarncrook, but no, it's Matt Duchene's 3rd of the season. 4-1 Preds. 3 goals in 2 minutes and 4 seconds, and 4 goals in 5 minutes and 36 seconds, and the Preds are rolling. Amazingly though, that's not a team record. The record for 4 goals happened on March 23rd, 2013, where the Preds did it against Columbus in Bridgestone Arena in a time of 3 minutes and 4 seconds. After a fight between Dylan Larkin and Ryan Ellis, where Dylan Larkin got the extra 2 for roughing, the Preds would finally get their first power play opportunity of this game. During this very power play tonight, I asked on Twitter if Preds fans could remember the last time this team worked the power play so perfectly in the offensive zone without letting their opponent get any reprieve of getting the puck out. Because you know what happens more times than not when a team does that. Josi at the blue line gets it over to Forsberg, and Forsberg at the sideboard winds up and parked in front of Jonathan Bernier, who has now replaced Jimmy Howard in net for the Detroit Red Wings. Matt Duchene backhands it home for his second of the game, and it's 5-1. Preds end up tying a franchise record for most goals in a period as we head into the final frame. Preds aren't happy to just get one power play goal in this game, as on their second opportunity in the third, Johansson behind the net gets it along the boards to Forsberg. Forsberg to Josi. Josi back to Forsberg. And Forsberg scores, and his drought is over. And it's 6-1 Preds. Not much going after that. Detroit would take a couple more penalties after that in the third period, but Nashville wouldn't score on them, but instead use them to help them kill the clock as they win this game with the final score of 6-1. This was Pekka's first win in Detroit since April 17th, 2012. That was game 4 of the first round series between Nashville and Detroit when Detroit was still in the Western Conference. Pekka improves his unbeaten streak in regulation to start a season to 8-0-2. Overall, solid scoring, the 7th time this season in 15 games where they've scored at least 5 goals. Power play, solid. They went 2 for 4 on the night. Penalty kill, really solid, killing all 3 Detroit power play opportunities. Now, rest up with Tuesday and Wednesday off before a big divisional battle in Denver against a shorthanded Colorado Avalanche squad. And now for the new countdown that I am sure is right this time. With this win over Detroit, the Preds are now 5 wins away from 800 for a franchise. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, hit like if you like this video. Hit subscribe if you really like it. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Canuck for Liberty. And tell all your friends that Matt Duchene is a Pred.